We have been building the laptop store project from the Ybyte Python curriculum available at www.ybyte.in. In the last few videos, we went in a very step-by-step manner, starting from the very basics to creating the entire store experience through, let's say, a series of actions. Now, I thought this may be a good opportunity for us to sort of look back, because a lot of data structures we have used. Let's just do a very quick recap of what we have done from the point of view of the data structures that we have been using. Remember, the key learning goal from this activity was to learn about this thing called dictionaries, which store data in a key value pair. And that's exactly where we started. Basically, every laptop was represented as a dictionary whose keys came from this list called specs. So we created dictionaries. We put many of them together to create our inventory. And this was done inside a big list, which was a list of dictionaries. Now, in practice, in fact, this is quite useful. Many times we have objects represented as, let's say, dictionaries, and we can put them in a single list, because that's, again, a sort of logical structure. Next, we decided to populate these, dictionaries for every laptop, because we needed to put some specs to each of the laptops. These specifications came from the master specifications, which was again defined as a dictionary, where the keys were basically plurals of, let's say, these keys, because, we were going to pick, for example, the brands, the models, and so on from lists. Now, notice this dictionary, we use keys as strings, but the values were all lists, which again made sense because we were randomly picking up data from, let's say, these brands, models, and we were populating each of the laptops. So that's how we sort of created this. One side we have a list of dictionaries, other side we have a dictionary whose values are lists. Remember, keys cannot be lists, keys are still strings, and they are just plurals of this. And finally, we captured the user choice in a dictionary. User choice, of course, was through the input statement. We captured it all in a dictionary. Using that, we created a query, which was a string that would go and sort of look at our database of laptops, and again create a selected list, which was again a list of dictionaries. So quite a lot of movement, but really, interesting. The one question that comes up is, well, what exactly would have happened if I had not started with, let's say, a laptop being a dictionary? A question that you might ask is, okay, look, we use a dictionary here, nice, but what had happened if, let's say, we had put a list to describe a laptop? Yes, we could have done that. For example, we could have made a list with all the specifications. So, the model becomes, let's say, item 0. Let's say, the brand becomes item 0. The model becomes item 1. RAM becomes item 4, whatever, in that order, we could have created a list. Or we could have considered making two lists, one for the keys, one for the values. However, if you think about it, because we have used a dictionary here, our code becomes quite natural in some sense, because we do not have to worry about indices. On the other hand, let's say we had taken the list approach, then we would have to really keep mapping all the time that, okay, look, if I'm dealing with the brand, then I must be looking at, let's say, index number so-and-so of, let's say, this list. If I'm dealing with the price, then that's index number so-and-so. This is kind of what we did in our shopping cart. But the scope of this project here, laptop store, is, I would think, a little bit more than shopping cart, because here we are really kind of emulating like a database. And we have a query and all of that. That is a lot more natural in the in the way we have done it. In fact, I felt that the most explicit, most vivid illustration of the fact that this is more natural to be doing with the dictionary comes from the step where we create the query. For example, here laptop brand should be equal to WDEL. Now this is coming from the user, and here we have created a query which is natural, and it works because I can use this string as an index. It's not really an index, as it's a key, but since laptop is a dictionary, I could use this kind of a statement. And the whole thing could be built a lot more naturally because of, let's say, this. So that's what I thought, it's good to sort of look back. We have used dictionaries, and that has bought us something with respect to the way the code is done. Of course, apart from the fact that we have used other data structures to sort of go along with it. Now, again, this project, I think, is quite interesting because it's just so close to reality. In fact, it turns out that we can enhance this project also in many ways. For example, just some ideas. We could consider developing a tkinter version of this project. So, the user choice becomes much more natural. We could format, for example, let's say, I could say that, look, I'm going to find out all the differences between two models and display them in red color. I could find best of all. Let's say, I could allow my user to refine the search, that, okay, you did the search. Now within this, do you want to search further? I could sort my results in a specific manner so that, okay, look, if user says memory of say 2 GB, RAM of say 2 GB, I could sort them in say in the order of price, right? And so on, right? I could give my user choice to compare two models, but all of this will require code. We could, and we discussed this earlier, we could use more logic for laptop models creation so that, we ensure that the expensive laptops have better specifications. And certainly, we could make the queries more elaborate so that, we could have things like, give me RAM more than 2 GB, give me, let's say, WHP or WDEL or things like that, right? But again, keep in mind that bonus comes after basic. Once you're through with the basic logic of this, you'll find that these ideas will naturally follow. And you can make this project more and more interesting, because fundamentally this is close to reality. I hope you have enjoyed this whole journey. If this way of learning appeals to you, where we build a project and then we think of how we enhance them, well, look at our website, www.ybyte.in, because we learn Python through such profound activities. Take care. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.